I was standing in a grocery store line when my phone rang. My mother's voice came rushed and uneven, crowded by shouting and wind. She did not ask how I was doing. She did not ask where I was. She spoke only about smoke, sirens, flashing lights, and neighbors gathering outside. At first I assumed confusion, maybe stress. Then she said the address carefully, like it might calm her. My cabin. The place I had locked and left empty days earlier. My chest tightened before my thoughts caught up. That was when understanding arrived. People were inside my property. Family members. Music. Fireworks. A celebration I never approved. I learned about the invasion only because something had gone wrong. That timing stayed with me longer than the fear itself. That cabin was never meant for showing off. It came after decades of overtime, missed vacations, and putting family needs ahead of my own. I chose that place for quiet mornings, clear air, and space to think without noise pressing in. I earned it slowly, dollar by dollar, while attending funerals, helping relatives relocate, and covering gaps nobody else filled. The cabin marked the first boundary I claimed without apology. It was rest made solid. Knowing it had been turned into a party cut deeper than any damage. Loud music echoed where silence belonged. Coolers replaced calm. Faces I barely recognized treated my work like community property. What hurt most was not disorder. It was the assumption that my effort automatically belonged to everyone else. When I asked how they got inside, answers came too easily. Someone remembered an old key. Someone forced a window. Someone assumed permission did not matter. No call was made. No message sent. Laughter filled the explanations. Family takes care of family. It was only for one day. You were not there anyway. Each excuse landed heavier than the last. That was when the truth surfaced clearly. In their thinking, ownership was optional. Effort was invisible. Only access counted. I was not recognized as the person who paid, planned, and protected that place. I was labeled differently. I was the one with resources. The one expected to provide. Not the owner. The supply. The fire was not planned, but it was reckless. A grill set too close to dry wood. Fireworks handled without care. Alcohol flowing faster than judgment. Celebration turned to chaos in minutes. When smoke rose, responsibility disappeared. Panic replaced laughter. Accusations moved quickly, searching for a place to land. No one wanted to claim fault. That was when my mother called. Not to apologize. Not to warn me earlier. She called because police were arriving and neighbors were watching. She called because ownership suddenly mattered. In that moment, clarity settled in. I was not important when things were easy. I became essential only when consequences showed up demanding a name, a face, and accountability. I drove toward the cabin without rushing. My hands stayed steady on the wheel. Anger never arrived. What filled the car was a quiet shaped by disappointment. I did not practice speeches. I did not prepare arguments. I watched the road and let the truth settle. When I arrived, the damage spoke first. Burned grass. Broken furniture. Trash scattered where peace once lived. Familiar faces avoided my eyes. Conversations stopped when I stepped closer. No one welcomed me. No one offered responsibility. That silence said more than shouting ever could. They knew the boundary had been crossed. They were waiting to see whether I would ignore it again or finally respond. I did not raise my voice. I did not insult anyone standing there. I did not ask for apologies or promises. I stated facts calmly and clearly. This property belongs to me. No permission was given. Damage had been documented. Locks would be changed immediately. The reaction was not anger. It was shock. My calm unsettled them more than yelling ever could. For years, they were used to explanations. Long conversations. Compromise disguised as kindness. I was expected to soften decisions for comfort. That day, I did not negotiate. I did not justify. I finished my sentences and stopped talking. Silence followed. Not confusion. Finality. I had reached the point where explaining myself no longer felt necessary. The calls started the next morning. Voices carried disappointment shaped like accusation. Words like changed, selfish, and ungrateful were repeated carefully. Some reminded me of everything family had done for me. Others claimed real family would never react that way. What they meant was the system had worked better before. Access was easy. Limits were unclear. I listened without interrupting. I did not defend myself. I did not explain context or emotion. After a few days, I stopped answering altogether. Because understanding finally arrived. People who benefit from your silence resent your boundaries. Their anger is not evidence of wrongdoing. It is proof that something comfortable for them has ended. That resentment confirmed I had chosen correctly. The cabin stands repaired now, quieter and more secure than before. Fresh locks guard every door. Clear rules replaced assumptions. Access is limited, intentional, and respected. More importantly, my understanding has changed. I no longer confuse generosity with obligation. I no longer feel pressure to explain protection as punishment. What I built deserves care, including my peace. That place no longer represents escape from people. It represents alignment with myself. It holds calm mornings, measured choices, and earned rest. The lesson arrived through discomfort, but it stayed through clarity. Boundaries did not break my family. They revealed truth. And that cabin now holds something stronger than quiet. It holds self-respect, finally claimed without apology.